Namaste students. Today, welcome again, and today we are here with the chapter number 2nd of class 8 history, and the name of the chapter is From Trade to Territory. From trade to territory, that we can easily means that this chapter is regarding a trade on becomes to the territory. So that means we are discussing about the English East India Company. So English East India Company, it was basically a trading company in England. So in 1600, what did they do? They got a charter that was being signed by the Queen Elizabeth I, and with that charter they got the monopoly over in the Britain only. So with that charter they want to take the monopoly, and after some time they knew that there was a huge competition in the European market. So they came to India because they had heard about India, and they came to India through the sea route. So when they came to in India and by sea route, at that time it was a very expensive route for them. It was a very expensive voyage for them. And when they came to India at that time, India was being ruled by the monopoly, and it was being having a monopoly over the trade by the French and the Dutch. Already they were here and they were having a monopoly over there. So before getting this, it was a very huge expensive thing for them. So what did they do? They just they wanted to have a monopoly over the market, and for that they have to have a fight with the French and the Dutch who are already in the market. So they've had so they started, because as I told you, they came through the sea route. So they first they choose 3 places which were very suitable for them. That one was the Calcutta, another was the Bombay, and third one was the Surat, Gujarat. And in Gujarat, Surat, they made a factory. Factory doesn't mean that was a trading post, and factory was named because it was a trading post over there, and they were having the office and the store over a particular place, and because the supervisor of the factory was known as the factor, that's why that place was known as factory. So for having a monopoly in the market, they fought war, and in the Carnatic region of the South India, that war was famous as the Carnatic War. So they have fought 3 wars. In 1963, they won the war and they signed a treaty that was known as the Treaty of Paris. And according to that treaty, the French were having the right to have a trade, but under the terms of the British only. So after getting the monopoly over the market, so they started having a trade, and now they wanted to take more things because they have to pay the revenue to the Mughal emperor at that time. Meanwhile, at that time in 1707, Aurangzeb died. After that, the Mughal empire became very weak, and there were the fight between the families only. So British or the English East India Company took the advantage of that. So how trade to battles. Now coming to the next one. At the same time in 1753, Ali Vardi Khan, who was the Nawab of Bengal, at the time Bengal was a very powerful province at that time. So Ali Vardi Khan, he died, and after that, when Ali Vardi Khan died, so Sirajuddaula became the Nawab of the Bengal, and Sirajuddaula, he disliked the Britishers or the English trade company. So what did he do? He refused to give the revenue or the other things to them. When this news reached to the Madras, at that time Robert Clive was deputed in Madras, so he was being sent to Calcutta to have a Bengal to have a talk with Sirajuddaula. But Sirajuddaula, the talks were being they were of no business, and the Sirajuddaula, he captured the Kasim Bazar. That was a place in Bengal, and it was a factory of the British East India Company, and through which they had a then this led to the Battle of Plassey. Plassey was a name of a place that was in Bengal, and the war was fought on the 23rd June 1757. So in that Battle of Plassey, Sirajuddaula, he lost the war because of the betrayal of his one of the very main commander, that was known as the Mir Jafar. So as a result, Sirajuddaula lost the war, and Robert Clive, he captured him and he killed Sirajuddaula. And after that, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of the Bengal. But once he became the Nawab of Bengal, he he again refused. Now he played as a puppet Nawab. Now they wanted a puppet Nawab. Puppet Nawab means a Nawab whose strings are in the control of the British people only. So Mir Jafar became the puppet Nawab of the Bengal. He has to give the revenues to the British people also. So that became, so later on he refused to give the revenues to British, which led to the again the conflict between Britishers and Mir Jafar. So Mir Qasim became, so they deployed Mir Qasim as the new Nawab of Bengal. After some time, when Mir Qasim became the Nawab of Bengal, after some he again refused to give the revenues to the British East India Company, and as a result he got a treaty with the Shah Alam II and Shuja-ud-Dawla, and they had a battle with the British only in the Buxar, that was a place in Bihar. So that they had a fight with the Britishers on 22nd October 1964, that was being famous as the Battle of Buxar. In that battle, Mir Qasim, he lost the war and he was being captured and killed. So Battle of Buxar, basically it was main milestone through which the Britishers, they started their territory in, they started their power, they established their power in India. So it was the milestone. So Battle of Buxar became the milestone for the Britishers to establish their territory over the India. So after winning the Battle of Buxar, they got the full power of the Bengal, and then they started having the annexation, one more policy that was known as the annexation policy. Annexation means to mix some other thing with ourselves. So they started the annexation policy, and in that very policy the company rule started expanding. The very first thing in that was the subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance was an alliance that was made by the British East India Company, and the main points of these alliance were that after the small kingdoms, the kings, they were not able to keep their own army, and if for their protection, and if they want some army, so the company will provide the army to them, and in return of that they have to pay rupees 5 lakh per month to the company. And if they are not able to pay the 5 lakh per month to the company, or if they are not able to bear the that expenses of the soldiers, British soldiers, so ultimately one part of their kingdom will be annexed into the British territory. So with this subsidiary alliance, they started annexing the Indian small kingdoms into their own territory, and they started expanding their own territory, and they became powerful day by day. So that was known as the subsidiary alliance. Next come to the claim to the paramountcy. Another thing was claim to paramountcy. Now the very first Governor General of the British East India Company, he was Warren Hastings, and his time duration was 1813 to 1823. So in this time period, he also declared one particular principle that was known as the claim to paramountcy. According to this claim to paramountcy, that they claimed themselves as the paramount. Paramount means the supreme power. So they were having the power to annex any small kingdom into their territory. This has not happened, that this thing was not been unchallenged by any of the small rulers of the Indian subcontinent. And in the south there was a name, Kittur was a very small district in the south, and there the queen of the Kittur was Rani Chennamma, and she challenged and she revolted against this claim to paramountcy, and she had a fight with the Warren Hastings, and that very fight she defeated, and she was being captured and kept in the jail, and after 4 years she died. So that was the claim to paramountcy. Again, next thing was the doctrine of lapse. Lord Dalhousie, his time duration was from 1848 to 56. He again came with this new alliance rule that was known as the doctrine of lapse. According to this doctrine of lapse, if a ruler, he died without having any successor, biological successor, so ultimately that kingdom will come into and annex into the British territory. So with this alliance and the doctrine of lapse, so many small kingdoms like the Jhansi, the Kanpur, and like these all small kingdoms, they ultimately annexed into the British territory. And with this all these rules, and either the subsidiary alliance or the claim to paramountcy or the doctrine of lapse, the small kingdoms, they started merging into the British territory, and with the help of these all these rules, the British territory, they started expanding their territory, and because as they came as a trader, and now they became the powerful ruler of the India. Now come to from 1772, they also started a new justice system that was known as the Faujdari and the Diwani. They started new types of courts. One was the name is the Faujdari court, that is the criminal court, and another was the Diwani, that is the civil court. We are still having the same two types of court in our present day in India also. So for the Faujdari and Diwani, because at the time the society was being divided into Hindu and Muslim, so they collected the Muslim qazis and Hindu pandits also, and they have a debate on their Dharm Shastra and the Quran and their particular religious things, and they, with the help of all the qazis and the pandits, they became some of the rules which are still happening in our country also, and for the help of Faujdari and the Diwani courts. Come to the next time, the company army. That one more thing that happened at that time was because before that the Mughal emperor or the Mughals army, they were having the main army was the cavalry. Cavalry means the people who used to mount on the horses. Now about this time, come to this time, the cavalry was now started vanishing, and the new type of army that was being introduced, that was the infantry. Infantry means the pedal savars. Now in the most part of the world also, the infantry is now being used in most of the armies, and cavalry, they are limited up to very small regiments in every country. So at that time the new types of warfares and the things were happening in the simultaneously in the world also, and at that time the Indian rulers, they started taking or they started recruiting the peasants and the farmers especially in their army, because they want to have a fight against the Britishers, and Britishers also adopted this policy, and they also started recruiting their own army known as the Sepoy army, and Sepoy means Sipahi army. So with all these things, they started having the trade. They came as a trader, and they became the powerful rulers of the country. After this all these incidents, they became the powerful rulers of the country. Thank you.